Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. It is time today for another book haul. I love doing these every month because I have a shopping problem. I always have books that I'm bringing into my house, and this month is no exception. And quite a few of the books I have to show you today are middle grade. A handful of them were sent to me. Some were thrifted, some were Amazon, but I have quite a few to share with you. So let's just get started. I'm going to start with my most exciting one, which is a box from Amazon that came to me. One of my lovely subscribers reached out to me and said they wanted to send me something in the mail just for hosting Middle Grade March. This is from Christine, and she surprised me with a bonus book too. I knew one of them was coming. Thanks again for hosting Middle Grade March from Christine, Books by the Quote on Instagram, I believe. So nice, Christine, so nice. And wait till you see. I'm so excited because the one that she sent me is Other Words for Home, which won a Newbery Honor. This is by Jasmine Warga. Oh my goodness. I had just listened to this the day before or so on my library app, and I knew that I wanted to own it because it was phenomenal. This is a book in verse about a young girl living in Syria who has to move to the United States with her mother, and just about that experience, and it's phenomenal. I fell in love with the main character, Judah, and just loved the audiobook, loved this story so much, would highly recommend it. I'll talk about it more in my I probably already talked about it, but yeah, I was so thrilled when Christine said she wanted to send this to me because it's definitely one that I can see myself reading again. So Christine, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Then she surprised me with this. I need to take it out of here for the glare. With this little devotional, Anne of Green Gables devotional, a chapter by chapter companion for kindred spirits. What? This is by Rachel Dodge. It's an adorable little book. It's going on my Anne shelf. But how cool is this? It just talks about, it has pictures and verses and thoughts along the way, and a little reading for each day. I think it's a 30-day devotional. Oh, how cool. At the back, it has like kind of an index and different verses for different quotes in the books. Prayer, lifelong sorrows, imagination, homemaking, friendship, food. This is so cool. And then questions for each day. Oh my word, I'm going to love this. Christine, I have never seen this before. This is a stunning little book. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my word. I love it. This was a sweet, sweet package. And I'm very, very grateful. So good. Okay, let's do the rest of the books that came kind of in the mail. Did somebody send this to me? This is called a gimbal. This came in a little package and I did not order it, and it didn't have a note or anything with it. It's kind of a little contraption that you can open up, I think all the way here. Yeah. And set your pages like into it, and it will hold your book open. Maybe when you're cooking or something, or reading while you're doing other things at the beach. This could hold your book open. If you're outside, this is a cool little thing, and I did not order it. It just came in the mail. So if you sent it to me, thank you. I don't know where it came from. It's very cool. A cool little gimbal. Hands-free reading on the move with a gimbal traveler. Very cool. So thank you if you sent that to me. I also, before I get too far, I want to say that I am going to have a giveaway for a clip-on light that I'll talk about at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. It's very cool, but I'll talk about that later. I was sent this book by the author Luke Cunningham. It's kind of a short book. It's not a full size. This, on the back, it says, A School for Incredibly Gifted Orphans. Check. I'm interested in that. A Genius Kid Inventor. Check. A Subterranean Maze. And a Mechanical Monkey. What could go wrong? It sounds so good. So this is called Leo, Inventor Extraordinaire by Luke Cunningham. Thank you so much to the author for sending that to me. I'm intrigued. Another middle grade. Perfect time to be talking to me about middle grade books. One that's not a middle grade, that's also another self-published book, is Indian Horse by Richard Wagamese. Richard Wagamese is a Canadian author and one of the leading Indigenous writers in North America. He was the author of several memoirs and then more than a dozen novels as well. And this is one of his novels. So let's see what this is about. Saul Indian Horse is a child when his family retreats into the woods. Among the lakes and the cedars, they attempt to reconnect with half-forgotten traditions and hide from the authorities who have been kidnapping Ojibwe youth. But when winter approaches, Saul loses everything: his brother, his parents, his beloved grandmother, and then his home itself. Ooh, that sounds really good. I am interested in reading more Ojibwe. Our book for middle grade March this year is The Brave, which is also involves some of Ojibwe peoples. So I'm very excited to read that as well. Thank you to Richard for sending that to me. Then I have my book of the month order. I put 3 in my box again this month, but one of them I've already read, so that's a good thing. I have already read The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner, and I'm kind of excited because this was one of the books that I had talked about in my most anticipated reads for January, February, and March, and I had never heard anyone else talk about it. I just came across it as I was researching what was coming out. I believe I read it through NetGalley, and then it was one of the book of the month picks. I picked a book of the month pick, ultimately, is what I'm saying. This was a really cool story. Dual timeline. In the past timeline, we follow a woman who is an apothecary, and she learns everything she knows from her mother, who then dies. So she's kind of on her own. She mainly focuses on women's care because women don't often get that great of care from the doctors at the time. But she also provides potions and toxins and poisons for these women to kill the men who have done them wrong, whether a brother or a father or an in-law or a husband or whatever. So, and then in the present day timeline, we follow this woman who is mudlarking on the Thames in London and finds a little vial that is connected to the apothecary. And she, in finding out about this bottle and about this woman apothecary, she also kind of finds herself. And it was such a good story. I really loved it. And so when I saw that it was a book of the month, I was thrilled to add it to my shelves. I don't know anything about this other choice that I made, but it has book club in the title. So I picked it, In a Book Club Far Away by Tiff Marcello. And I literally know nothing about it still. Regina, Adelaide, and Sophie used to be best friends as army wives at Fort Fairfax. They bonded through their book club and soon became inseparable. But when a betrayal shattered trust among the group, the friendship abruptly ended. And then we go 8 years later and these women are coming back in contact with each other. I'm interested. And then I picked up one of their older books, Atomic Love by Jenny Fields. And this is a historical fiction set post-World War II in Chicago. Rosalind has always defied expectations in her work as a physicist on the Manhattan Project and in her passionate love affair with colleague Thomas Weaver. 5 years after the end of both, her guilt over the bomb and her heartbreak over Weaver are intertwined. She desperately misses her work in the lab, yet has almost resigned herself to a more conventional life. I think there's going to be a love triangle in here as well. I've seen a lot of people say that they really enjoyed this one, so I threw it in my pile for book of the month. All right, books that I found in thrift stores. You may have seen me share some of these in a vlog, but I'll just go quickly through them here. I did pick up a Christian nonfiction called Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortland, and this is the Heart of Christ for sinners and sufferers. And I have seen a couple people that I follow who read Christian nonfiction say that they really loved this one, and the woman that I work for was reading it too, so that was kind of cool. I picked up the first in the Mitford series, At Home in Mitford by Jan Karen. I have heard over and over people tell me that this is a series that I'm going to love. I always feel a little intimidated by it. I wonder if it's going to be a little too slow paced for me, but I'm intrigued enough that I didn't want to buy the whole series. I just wanted to get the first one and see what I think. So I grabbed this one for I think $1 or something at a thrift store. All of these were super cheap. This one was 45 cents. It's another memoir. It's called A Beautiful Work in Progress by Myrna Valerio. And I think I talked about this in my vlog, but I saw a video at a film festival that Myrna Valerio was the main subject in, and she is an extreme runner. She does like 50-mile races and all of these things, but she doesn't fit the physical body of a runner that you would stereotypically think of. She's a larger woman and a Black woman who has just fallen in love with running. But she is her film in that festival was incredibly inspirational to me. So I thought a memoir by her would also be very inspiring. So I was thrilled to find that for less than 50 cents. Counting by Sevens by Holly Goldberg Sloan is a book that I've heard Amanda at the Curly Reader talk about over and over and over. I believe it's a middle grade, but maybe like a middle grade YA crossover, like older middle grade. I don't know much more about it, except that Amanda loves it. So I grabbed it. I have only read Walk Two Moons by Sharon Creech, but wanted to read more. And this is another one that a lot of people read when they were younger, and I never did, Bloomability. So I think that cover is stunning. I'm really excited to read more from Sharon Creech. And then I also at that thrift store found 2 middle grade graphic novels, both for 99 cents each, by Raina Telgemeier, Smile and Sisters. I believe there's 1 or 2 more in this series as well, but I am thrilled to have these and then kind of share them with my nanny family that I watch, because I think the kiddos will really love that. And finally, at that thrift store, I picked up another nonfiction, Whiskey in a Teacup by Reese Witherspoon. I love Reese Witherspoon. This is more of a coffee table book. It has recipes and life in the South. It's very like a coffee table type of book. But I'm excited. I'm excited to flip through that one and kind of just enjoy Southern living. I know Virginia's on the border, but whatever. And then I splurged. This month I have 6 books that I bought myself, which is very rare. All of these came from Amazon, which means I did not pay thrift store prices for them, but I just couldn't resist. And they're all middle grade, of course. So first off, I got the 4th book in the Wingfeather saga. It's like double the size of all the other ones. This is called The Warden and the Wolf King. I've heard that this series just keeps getting better and better and better, and I'm really hoping to read the first one at least before the end of this month. So I wanted to complete that series and have all 4 of them, and I'm thrilled that I got that one. After I finished up the Winter Night trilogy by reading Winter of the Witch in February, I was really into the Russian folklore aspect of that book and wanted to get my hands on more. And so I went and picked up The House with Chicken Legs, which is by Sophie Anderson and also is kind of a Baba Yaga retelling, and also The Girl Who Speaks Bear by Sophie Anderson as well. I think these books are gorgeous, first of all, and they both are based on Russian folklore. So I'm really hoping to read at least this one before the end of the month. And it'll be so interesting because a lot of the Winter Night trilogy was based in folklore as well as history. So it'll be really cool to see what Sophie Anderson does with those fairy tales. One of the books that I talk about all the time is Kind of Paradise by Amy Rebecca Tan, which is a book that takes place in a library and a young girl who has to do some community service at a library. And I just love it so much. So when I started to hear people talking about Summer at Meadow Wood by Amy Rebecca Tan, I knew I had to grab it. This one is set at a summer camp. And I grew up going to summer camp. I probably spent 10 or 12 years working at a summer camp during my teens and early 20s. And I love camp. I love it, love it, love it. My mom still has a little cottage at a summer camp. So we are a big camping family. And I just think that is a fantastic setting for a middle grade book. So I am thrilled to own that one. And then I picked up Astrid the Unstoppable by Guy Pusey. Translated from Norwegian. No, this is by Maria Parr, but it's translated by Guy Pusey, which is kind of cool. It's a translated book. I think I heard about this from Katie at Life Between Words last year in middle grade March. It's just been one that's been on my wish list, and so I treated myself. It's a cute little book as well. Okay, and then finally, I picked up one that is on my NetGalley as well, but I just love the cover of this one, and I wanted to own it. And so this is The Elephant's Girl by Celesta Remington. This one just sounds so cool. When Lexington Willow can't remember her past. Oh, an elephant never forgets. But Lexington Willow can't remember her past. When she was a toddler, a tornado swept her away from everyone and everything she knew and landed her near an enclosure in a Nebraska zoo where an elephant named Naya protected her from the storm. With no trace of her family, Lex grew up at the zoo with her foster father, Roger, her best friend, Fisher, and the wind whispering in her ear. Now that she's 12, Lex is finally old enough to help with the elephants, but during their first training session, Naya sends her a telepathic image of the woods outside the zoo. Despite the wind's protest, Lex decides to investigate Naya's message and gets wrapped up in an adventure involving ghosts, lost treasure, and a puzzle that might be the key to finding her family. Can Lex summon the courage to discover who she really is and why the tornado brought her here all those years ago? That sounds amazing. And I've never heard anyone talk about this. So I'm really excited for that one. Will I get to it this March? I just don't know. I just don't know. And now I have a little giveaway for you guys. This company, VONT, asked me if I wanted to receive a clip-on lamp. And I said yes, because I like to read in bed, but I don't like to read e-readers. So I don't want to, I have to get up and turn off my light when I'm reading in bed. This is the perfect solution. This light is a touch sensitive. You just touch it and it has 3 settings. So kind of off, kind of bright, where to go? More bright and more bright. It's fabulous. This is totally bendable every which way. So you can make it fit where you want it to go, and it clips so easily onto your nightstand, or I have a little shelf behind my bed that it fits. They said that they would graciously send this to one of my subscribers. So if you're interested in winning a little clip-on lamp, just put light in all caps in the comments with whatever else you want to comment, but go ahead and put light and I will add your name to a little giveaway. And 5 days after this video goes live, I will be doing a drawing for that. So if you're interested in this light, and I will also in the description, I will put the link to their website and also the Amazon link if you just want to go ahead and purchase it yourself. It's fabulous. I love it. And it has come in so handy for me. It's come in so handy. I love it. So I am so thankful. Thank you, VONT, for sending this to me. I will put a code in the description that gives you a little discount if you're interested in buying it on your own, but also a link to their website if you want to just check it out for yourself. Again, put light in your comment if you're interested in winning a really cool clip-on light for your room. It doesn't have to go in your bedroom. It can go anywhere in your office, anywhere you want, in your reading chair. It's fabulous. I am not going to try to lift up all those books because there's a lot of them, but I would love to talk with you in the comments below. Did you find any books here today that you would like to add to your TBR, or that you've already read, or that you want to hear me talk about? Please let me know that in the comments below. You guys know I love talking with you in the comments. I try to respond to every single comment I get. So let's chat in the comments. And also don't forget to put light in all caps if you're interested in winning a little clip-on light. It's fabulous. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will be talking with you in another video very soon. Bye.